Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the TypeScript Tea Time. Yet another episode of the same day. Oh, can you believe it? I hope you have a beautiful day so far. I'm your host, Mirko. And yeah, this is kind of the second stream today because I want to continue on the project. And since we kind of did the work earlier today, why not do the fun stuff? So what we did, like a couple of hours ago, 8 hours ago or something, is have this little app with which we can, to which we can provide our estimations, highlight one specific thing I want to do better, and then we see our summary. And what we did was add this drawer menu with the help of React navigation. So we did have the dailies, which is just the stuff that was already there. We added basically the about page and this menu at all. The about page is not that useful, but it does show the version at least. And one thing that I did look into now, because I had to do some research first, is the statistics part. And as you can see, we're already kind of drawing stuff. Doing research means I was reading this article, which was, well, more or less helpful, I would say. Basically they explained, or they compared LogRocket. They compared multiple React Native charting libraries, so to draw stuff like that. The one that I eventually went for is this one, React Native Chart Kit. All of them are very little used, which was kind of a surprise for me. None of them had really interesting, like, high numbers of users. But that might just be a thing of React Native in general. The one that I went for is this one, React Native Chart Kit. And then I basically just followed the instructions and put in the first few data points, which pretty much gave this. And then the one thing that I did change after that to make it more, or to really show and convince myself that it is in fact working with what I'm planning to do, is that let's see, there's a statistics screen now, that I redesigned kind of the data format of the historic data. So every day you fill in these questions, right? That's the basic idea. Fill in these questions. So every day you have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 number values and 2 full string values. And at least the number values you can show, and in particular you can also show whether you did the dailies or not, which is kind of this little chart, which I like a lot. I have an app for eating less meat, and they do a similar thing. Let me show it to you quickly. They do a similar thing, like come on. There we go. Up here they show you which days of the week you've already completed without eating meat, and up here you see this overview. And I would like to have such an overview as well, because it just looks nice and it feels so good when you have all of them green. Kind of a motivational thing to have this one. Yeah, so the data that comes out of filling in those questions is kind of what we see here. We basically have the date, we have the questions, and in fact size matters in this case. We have an ID, so which question is it actually? This one is the goals question, this one is the progress question, this one is the meaning question, and so on. Because in the end I do want to make this adjustable so that everybody basically can insert their own questions. And then we have the answer value. For example, the highlight question says my answer is improving the daily questions app, and because that is in fact the highlight of my day. And the thing that I want to do better is go shopping since tomorrow is a holiday. Yeah, which I did, by the way. Just to. So for every day, so here's the 2020 1st of January, 2nd of January, 3rd of January, and so on. So what you get if you take kind of a slice, you take one specific ID, then you have a time series. You always have a date and the corresponding number for that specific question, which means you can chart it, and that's what I did. Using this mock data, right? Yeah. So the mock data just says I had 2 10s apparently, 1 8, and a couple of 2s, because it doesn't start at 0 or 1. And I just hard code that I take the 5th entry, so 1 2 3 4 5, which is I think the social question. Again, this is mock data, so it doesn't really matter anyway. And I want to draw this chart for each and every one. So if in any way possible, we might be able to do something like this actually. Put in a 0 here, I suppose. Then just say, well, this one doesn't matter anymore. Maybe take 4 here. Do we now get 2 graphs? Ah, it's not actually running. You have to connect your application actually to the dev server. Otherwise it won't work. Depending on Android. You do the thing. I think it did do. Come on, reload. Do the thing for me. Have a check audio quickly. Have a check audio quickly. Hello, hello. Yeah. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And in the meantime, while this is building, I'm going to switch on again my YouTube. I'm now listening to Cuba Libre. Recently started playing Tropico again, so I'm really into the Cubanian music. Yeah, we have a cycle here, so that's why it's warning us. But now we should be able to see something here. There it is! Look at it go! We have 2 charts, and they do render indeed. Now we can fiddle around with all of these. For example, the color of this one should be apparently like this. Is that a thing? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, GitHub Copilot, aka Ice-T, for doing the thing for us. So let's make one blue, red, green, blue, right? So let's make one red. I think we need 255 instead. Yeah, that one is red. We take the next one, which we make, I don't know, green maybe, 255. There we go. We can do another one. Red, green, and blue, 255. If we take like the 1 or 2 here. There we have another one. Nice. I like it. That doesn't look too shabby. I don't like it down here though, that it shows every single of those dates terribly formatted, but we'll figure something out eventually, I suppose. So that doesn't look too bad. Now we somehow have to get the historic data. We can do it the quick and dirty way. I suggest we do right now. Or we do it the proper way, or the way that I eventually want to do it, which is with the help of Redux and then Redux persist. You persist everything automatically. And then more stuff. Use the Redux store essentially to get the data. Okay. So maybe one thing that we can do here is we put in an array. We call it. The array is mock history dot map dot no wait one entry of the history maps to let's see. We want the first thing that I want to do is I want to draw one chart for every question I have, for every number question I have. For every number question I have. That means I can iterate over just the first one, let's say. Supposing they stay constant, which they with time won't. BioPi. I do remember you. I don't remember the way I pronounced your name. PL stands for Poland. I remember that much. Yeah, I am back indeed with more tea. Today with, in fact, cold tea. Oh. Although it tastes more like water. Anyway, it is tea, but with brewed with cold water because it's like 32 degrees here. How are you doing? How have you been? I intend to stream some more. Artenis already supported and said you should be streaming more often earlier today. And we're looking at a new project, the Daily Questions app. So one of the world's greatest leadership coaches, Marshall Goldsmith, wrote a book called Triggers. And Triggers is basically about employee engagement and how to improve engagement and live a more fulfilled life and so on. For that, he proposes that every day you just ask yourself 6 questions. The 6 engaging or daily engagement questions. In Denmark. Oh, I see. Oh, thank you so much. So I need to be streaming on 25th. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Just kidding. So this app, every day you just put in, you give yourself a number to 6 specific questions. In this case, it's like, did I do my best to set clear goals? Let's say 6. So for me personally, that felt like on a scale between 1 and 10, felt like a 6. Did I do my best to make progress towards my goals? Is that visible? I can maybe zoom a bit. plus, more plus, plus doesn't work. Great. Can I make you larger somehow? It's supposed to work, I'm pretty sure. There you go. Ah, you have to hold it. Well, that didn't work. Oh, it did. Come on. UX. Google. I have some questions. Yeah. Did I do my best to make progress towards my goals today? And then did I do my best to find meaning in what I'm doing today? Did I do my best to be happy today? Did I do my best to build positive relationships? And then I think he originally had a different question for the sixth question. I have, did I do my best to take responsibility for my action? And another one. So these are slightly customized, but basically you ask yourself these questions, do it every day, and as time goes by, you will probably, by thinking about these questions and reviewing every day what you did, basically you're doing a retrospective, if you're talking agile or lean or Kanban. You're doing a small retrospective every day, and over time you will probably be better off than if you didn't. That's all that he's claiming. And at least his research, because he's a professor as well, not sure which university, somewhere in America, his research does suggest that indeed doing these questions does help you feel better, seeing more meaning in your life, and so on and so on. So, and also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but also judged by your peers, you get better grades in a sense. Yeah, so that's the basic app. Currently, I'm already using it, so I've been doing these questions for quite some long time, and at some point I was just like, writing these on WhatsApp because I'm doing it with a partner is so annoying. Writing like goals 5, enter, progress 7, and doing this for more than a year. Already just doing it 2 weeks sucks. I did it for like 5 years until I finally developed this app. And now I can just do it with this, and it reduced my amount of typing and the time that I needed to actually spend on useless time with this methodology by a lot, probably 50 to 7%, that I can now focus on actually answering the questions instead of typing stuff. You're doing a switch scene now, layout. Maybe start a stream with beginner Python. Oh, sweet. Sweet. That's cool. I think I'm subscribed. Am I? I think I did give you a shout out at some point, and at that point I also subscribed. Did I? Yeah, I'm subscribed. Yeah, I'm following you. Subscribing is something different here. Sorry, I'm talking YouTube. Cool. Maybe I'll check it out if I get you. Do you have a specific day on which you plan on streaming? If so, I might be able to check it out. So that's the basic app, and it's working and it's in production because I'm using it since 4 months or something, and I'm very happy that I have it. What I want, however, is to persist my progress. So because every day I basically get numbers in each of these categories, each of these questions, right? Say, yeah, we have the overview. In goals I get 6 today, and yesterday I got a 7, and the day before that I got a 3, and so on. And maybe there's just a degree of trend visible in that. But since I'm not saving the data in a way that I can actually analyze it, because I'm just sending a WhatsApp message using this share button. In this case, I can't really show it to you because none of these apps are actually set up, and they don't have any way. Android by default does not have any way to show you text without actually signing in anywhere, which is ridiculous. And I don't have, on this emulator, I don't have the Play Store set up, or Google anyway. Yeah, but maybe so I want to chart this, and that's why today we added this drawer menu, this hidden drawer menu essentially, where you can hidden, because actually I still want to just jump into the app and immediately see. You want to do a new questionnaire? Here you go, because that is my regular flow, and the statistics are kind of a nice to have. So that's the basic idea of this app. It's also online if you want to check it out. Everything of this code is indeed public. My code tends to be. I can share this in case you're interested. Dailies. There you go. So, I just call you Vio from now on. I hope that's fine. Vio. There was like you're starting. You meant to say you're starting the Twitch setup, right? And the beginner Python, because and not a question or request of me doing a beginner Python stream, because while I can write Python code, I'm not good at it in any way. I did have a job though, where I had to. So there are probably better people who can teach that. So that's the basic idea, and now we have a couple of questions, and I want to now filter basically all the questions that have a number down here. QS dot filter. So I take all those questions. QS stands for questions, and indeed size matters in this case, because this one is persisted. Probably might be able to put it into a better format while it's actually in use, but anyway. So having the question, I want to filter all those is number, or probably, or something like that. Do we have, is that a thing? Lodash, yeah, there we go. So give me all those questions that actually have a number, and then so we go over the questions and we map it to just the answer, right? U.A. That's it. And that needs to be as number. Because we do this up here, we basically have, maybe I think we can write this at, I don't think that works. Q is, oh man, ID string a number. advanced TypeScript with Mirko. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. And then we need the color. And I think... Oh no! I need to map that again. Okay. So we need data here. Wait, what? Yes, the price of electricity increased by 350%. In 3 months, appreciate the value of Intel Eco Mobile TCPU now. Yeah. Nice. 350%. That's something. Yeah, that is definitely something. Thank you. That you try, that you're using a an environment friendly CPU. Good job. Yes, I have a Python course and I can do a restream it on a daily basis at work and install PV, solar panels, and photovoltaic. Yeah, sweet. Did we talk about photovoltaics? Or is it just because I was reading about it recently? I am reading about it recently, all of those energy stuff. Anyway, cool. Yeah, tell me when you're doing the stream, and I might be there. Cannot promise it, of course. I do have some stuff to do also from time to time. What am I doing here? Datasets. Datasets must... Q must map to something. Wait, what am I doing here? Oh, I think I get it. So dot map q maps to q.id instead. So these are all the questions. Const questions with number values are all of these question IDs. So these are all the questions that have, or the IDs of all the questions that have actually number values. And now if I want to do more with it, I take this one. I take that one. And as my data set, I take the mock history dot filter all. No, wait, what? I think we have to normalize the data differently, right? Oh no, we now have to normalize the data. We basically always want date. Oh, we already have the dates here. We now basically want to have a slice from each one. We take the one with the ID that we currently have. So we in fact, I think we take this dude. We take this dude dot map question ID maps to, and now, oh man, this is more complicated than I was hoping for. Every one of those maps to data, Oh, I think that might be working. Let's write it ourselves. So we take the mock history and map over all of these entries. So now we go in this direction. So we, for example, the first entry is this dude. Then we take .queues definitely. So entry maps to entry dot queues dot, and inside of there we again need to, no, we actually need to just pick one specific run, right? Dot find me the one where the question ID is exactly the question ID. And that should work. So now I'm picking a slice out of these. Probably a better way to do this. I think it would look a lot better if we didn't do it inline here already, but we will eventually do it inline anyway, because this is data that changes in fact and comes from outside. Photovoltaic window blinds. There's something like that. I didn't know. Sorry, I need to check that one out. Voltaic window blinds. Oh, wow. Window blinds with Ukrainian startup. Oh, that's too bad. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's gotta be rough. The world is definitely not benefiting from this war. Just like that. Nice. That's awesome. I gotta remember that. Sorry. I'm also learning and I need to... Oh? Oh, something broke. Anyway. So... Photovoltaic... Well, PV... window blinds. Climate. So this is my Learn app, Anki. Or not my Learn app, but the flashcard app I'm using. To do. For now, that should be enough. So there, don't forget about it. It's like my second brain. Everything that's not inside of there, I forgot. So question mark dot A. A does not exist. Ah. Wait, what? Question mark. Oops. Question mark dot A. Or let's just say 0. No data. Man, that looks terrible. So, so what we are doing is, let's say we're basically going through the list of all of these entries and pick the one with this ID, and then we pick its answer. Or if this entry does not exist, we just say 0. And then we do this for every of these IDs that actually have a number value here. So, is there anything wrong with this? Probably there is, because TypeScript is complaining. String or number. String is, of course, wrong. So these are indeed as number. As number because we filter only questions with number values. Yeah, what he says. So now we should have like a couple of graphs there. And one useful thing would be if we also color that data differently. So we do need a comma right there. And then we just say one times 255 times the index, and we do need the index here, times the index, and we divide it by the number of questions that we actually have. And that's very complicated. We definitely need to rewrite this, I think. But let's check whether it actually works. I'm not sure. Oh, that is not a valid color. We have to math.floor it, math.floor. Or can we just do integer? Do we have integer? JavaScript, integer division. Math.floor, okay. That's hacky. Let's use math.floor. There is no specific integer division apparently. Math.floor. So you need to be a proper number. And maybe now, look at it! It has different colors now. So if we do that for each of these three, that probably, so we're now interpolating between yeah, white and gray, which, well, while it works, it's not ideal. Anyway, let's take that one for the time being. Gray on a red on a orange, not great. No, it's not a new product. Day and night PV blinds from Poland. Hybrid solar inverter with utility, 270 charging time sets. Prohibit the controller from charging. Man, I understand it now, what you're saying. I understand. Like, if you told me about all of that 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't understand the thing. I wouldn't probably even, if you hadn't said photovoltaic, I wouldn't even know what PV meant. But now I know what a controller is, and so on. What a solar inverter? Okay, I don't know what a solar inverter is, but I don't know what a power inverter is. What does a solar inverter do? You can prohibit the controller from charging the battery when the energy price is high. Let it again when the price is low. And refill it probably. I would. Oh, is the controller actually buying energy? Is the controller actually buying energy? I mean, it sounds like you have the battery and you're always pulling from the battery instead of from the grid, even though prices are high. I mean, in this case, you're avoiding it, or the controller is somehow avoiding it. But is that a thing? I would have expected if the I would expect that when prices are high, you're actually pulling from the battery. I mean, why wouldn't you? 18 to 22 is probably the time where you need energy anyway. The price is high, like the grid price is high, and there's still sun energy, so you can probably recharge. I don't know. No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. Yeah, I'm very, very much interested in that stuff. In fact, I'm thinking about getting a PV, or at least building my own wind turbine just for the lols. It doesn't have to be effective, but I just want to understand how it works and then say, okay, now I get what all those numbers mean. And I understand maybe after 1, 2, 3 days of actually looking at it, how the wind patterns look like, particularly here in my garden, or in the winter garden. And then say, no, it probably is not worth it. Because I'm living in a flat. I don't get that much wind. But it might be worth looking into for my parents, because they have a house themselves. And PV and wind, mini wind, actually might make sense. I'm also just interested in all of that stuff, and I want to do something on that front. It seems to be working, anyway. It seems to be working, so we can remove all of that fun stuff and save for once. And now, maybe, just maybe, we put this one into a function. And we write actually a function to get all of this fun stuff here. So const data, const data is equal to what he says. And then we give this one a nice name, and we call it this is I'm confused. My phone just said I switch on now, even though nothing happened. It's 4 devices in one hybrid. Yeah, that makes sense. You probably, or at least you want to probably buy it in a set, because some people probably understand it more, which batteries fit which controllers, which fit which solar panel. when the purchase price of energy is high, in order not to buy when it is raining. Ah, okay. When it is raining, you charge the raining batteries and use them during the day. I see. That makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of non-linear optimization going on inside of there, I think. And software might exist, but it might still be lacking. I think there's a lot of optimization still to be done on those things. Probably also research, in fact. So, this is the data. This is the time series. Actually, this is the time series. And now here we take this fun stuff and we call it color. Call it. Oh, average is also nice. Good idea. I mean, we can call it color for a moment. And now, next thing we do is we call it not color. We call it we call this, we give this one actually a name. I'm missing, there we go, extract const. We call this one this is basically, it is basically the color or the red value, but it is red value interpolated. Or interpolated red value. Interpolated red value. Then that. Does it still work? Yeah, it does indeed. Okay, we have our time series. I would still like to remove all of this fun stuff, but anyway. The color is terrible. Background, yeah, background color, here we go. The price difference during the day, 24 hours, is 90%. The power plant reports prices online every hour. The application buys when cheap and uses V voltage when expensive. The Torx when it volts. Oh. It does sound like Torx in a sense, yeah. There's probably a lot of similarities there. There is probably a lot of similarities there. With one difference, because you're actually generating Forex. You're generating currency. You're printing currency. Which you probably don't do in reality. But I don't know. Maybe you work for here in Denmark. Denmark has krona, right? Krona. You're probably not printing Danish krona. or krona is probably the Swedish name. I don't know how to pronounce the krones in Danish. Let me switch my music because it did stop just now. Radio Latino. I think this is a yellow color. Let's switch it into. I do think we have actually access to some nice colors. We do have the light theme here. Do we have something like use theme? Use theme. Yeah, we do. Oh no, that's not the wrong one. Native paper. Const theme equals, and then theme dot colors dot surface. Does that work? It's a string. It did not. RGB of all of that fun stuff is not a valid color or brush. Yeah. That's too bad. I mean, for now we can just do... Now I have to write the price is 3.8 per kilowatt hour. No, that's not right, right? 3.8 per kilowatt hour? That's probably not right, right? Doing that, I charge the battery for... Sweet! Somebody knows how to make money. Whoop, whoop. The Moonies. Congratulations. I mean, you're doing something for the environment and you're making money off of it. How? That's win-win. Win. 3 times. Nice, congratulations. Oh, those colors are terrible. Can I like put this one into, oops, 2x. We remove all the comma. 0.02 does not work. Oh, it should work. RGBA. Ah, there's a dot inside of there. And there's also a weird hashtag 240000. Wait, that's not it. Is it? Maybe it is. 240000. I think there's also a shortcut to write this, but I don't know what it is. Did something change? I don't think it did. Payload too large. But reload. What are we doing? Okay, I know. Come on. Well, that didn't work. Maybe it's because of this one. Wow, that's black. That's a lot of black. Background gradient from here to the same value. That didn't work. Okay, let's ignore it for now. Okay, what do we want to do now? We can render something, which is enough for now. Now we also, I think I save the data in this format, if I'm not mistaken. Question screen, summary screen. Yeah, I do save the data in this way. And as I said, I'm not writing questions and I'm not writing answers because size actually matters, and this is persisted and I only have 2 megabytes of size available, unfortunately. Welcome to the chat. Okay, maybe, so if you wrote something just now, I probably haven't seen it. But looking at it up here, it seems alright. I didn't miss anything. So what next? What next? We somehow need to move. We do save the data. We now want to probably load it from from async storage and then draw it instead of having the mock stuff here. So let's so we can do now, we could do it now. Problem is we throw it out again anyway, because I'm not going to use async storage. So I think this might be the point where we're actually switching to Redux. It's going to be fun. Externalizing the state, that's what I'm going to do now. Why? Because then we have it basically in the top component, and all the people that are interested in it can read from there, and other people that want to write to it can write to it in a very controlled way. We also get automatic persistence because the Redux already has solved that problem for us pretty much. Although size is an even larger problem, possibly. Size might be a problem. Doing it over multiple years, size might be a problem. And I do intend to use this app over multiple years indeed. Well, let's see where we get. So for now, we kind of, this is pretty much nothing. Let's call it a feature. Statistics, stats. What do I already have? Oh. Feature stats, mock chart. And now we are going to have some fun with Redux React Native. We do want to use toolkit, I think. So yarn expo install what he says. I do think we have to install some typings as well, if I'm not mistaken. TypeScript. There we go. It types React Redux, and we do want to use React Redux indeed. This indeed we want to use. So yexpo install this fun stuff, and then we want to add yexpo install, no, yarn add -d the TypeScript types. So now probably copy this fun stuff. Toolkit. We have the history, and that's the history reducer, most likely going to be. And then we have, I do think we need that's fine, that's also fine. Type talks. Location usage. Was that the each slice file? I haven't used. Have you used Redux or React Toolkit before? I did use Redux, but I haven't used Redux Toolkit yet. The only time I think I saw when they introduced it with Jason Lengstorff here on Twitch. That's when I actually watched, but I kind of forgot because it's like 1 year ago, 2 years ago maybe by now. Yeah, 2 years more like. It's concepts. I want to see what a slice is again. Yep. Article includes utilities that help simplify many common use cases, including store setup, creating readers and writing immutable update logic, and even creating entire slices. What is a slice? Create slice. The function that accepts an initial state, an object of reducer functions, and a slice name. And it creates action creators and action types that correspond to the reducer and state. Okay, that sounds useful. Let's try. And we call this 3. Suppose. 3.slice. .ts. So. Oops. This is our history. And then initial state. I use S when you can just use this. The history looks slightly more complicated. In our case, the history is right here. Now that I remember, I think we did solve all of these problems, right? Let me update that. Yeah, all of these are done. We all did all of these. So currently we are at a chart library. We did that, and we also now look into externalize global state management. What kind of picture is that? I generally don't open random images on stream. But if you tell me what is inside, I might consider opening it. Huh. I see. Crazy prices. Most expensive hour. That's Denmark for you. I don't know. As a German, Scandinavian and Danish prices are intense, particularly for alcohol. Then again, at least apparently the pay is also appropriate and the social system works more or less. $364 per kilowatt. Seriously? I'm paying like 30 cents per hour. Per kilowatt hour. And it's green. It's green. The national electricity market now in EU. Well, we depend a lot on fossils, alright? That's the underlying problem. That we depend very much on fossils. And those fossils don't come from us. Because we used ours. Pretty much. We had our chance. Yeah. That is some crazy pricing. The other day, I think yesterday, I learned about this, which I found really interesting. It's actually a Danish startup, electricity map. They show you, I think, the daily energy mix of specific countries, for example, as well as how much carbon or how much of the energy actually comes from carbon intensive stuff. That's electricitymap.org. Apparently a Danish startup. For example, Germany, not so great, but well, we have a lot solar power apparently, but unfortunately also a lot of dependence still on coal. And these are like carbon intensity in the last 24 hours. Let's see at Denmark. Oh, the wind is currently blowing apparently. Those are probably the... Apparently... Oh, these are actually exports. Norway is exporting to Denmark apparently, currently. I don't know how well those sources are, but apparently they are getting them from electricity providers. They fetch them, integrate with the APIs, and then render it into this map. Yep. I think a lot of here comes actually from nuclear energy and also from hydro. Yeah. Yep. Anyways, so we have React Redux. Was I finished writing the? I was about to look for the state, right? Question screen, question snap hub. Where did I define all of those? That's almost it. Navigation app. Statistics, was it? No. Ah, it's in the summary screen, I remember. Yeah, here we go. This one. This is basically it. The stuff that we want. History slice. And history state is now history, which is of type history. And then we just move those. And that should be fine. And then we say the history at the very beginning is empty. Which makes sense, right? We don't have any data at all. at the very beginning. And then we can start doing stuff like the functions, right? Yeah. Like add or append or update, essentially upsert. And if we do an upsert, what we do is we get the state. Is this typed? It is typed. Look at it. State dot. Oh, now it's using IMA, right? I don't know how IMA works with. Great. IMA.js array push. Apparently that doesn't work. Does it? Or do I have to do something like this? Not sure. We want to add another one. Shouldn't the reducer get another? Oh, wait, that's not the reducer. Wait, what? Actions? Me is confused. Me is confused. What does it do here? On increment, you should increment the value. On decrement, so basically you have the action here, and then you return the new state, which is the state, but with value increased. IMA is a bit confusing. IMA being a library where you don't make actually state changes, but instead you get a new object, which is okay, interesting. So it looks like you're actually changing the state object, but you're actually not doing that, which is like weird. Not sure whether I like it yet. This one gets an action as well. That's good. I think we want something like this here. Absurd. And we have the following thing, which is a historic entry. And then we say .history.push action.payload. And I don't know whether that actually changes it or not. But now we can use upsert here and export it. Interesting compared to previous in particular. Where's my thing? Not you. Statistics? No. Summary. There we go. Here. Actually, we don't do that now. Right here we say upsert. Damn it. Um, it's actually wrong. The upsert function is actually wrong. Where did it go? Slice. Actually, I think what I want is all the code that I have written here. Pretty much. Pretty much all of this fun stuff. I want to move it right here. And then we have some more interesting things too, because we don't get a historic entry here. We instead get the stuff that he gets here. Okay. Action dot payload. But so we don't get that one, we don't get that one. We do want that one. We do actions, action payload dot answers. Here comes the critical part where nothing works anymore. Did I import the right one? Yeah. And then we go to state.history. That where does this one come from? Yep, dumb. Okay. State dot. Else state dot history dot push. The price of code in Poland was 800% and went up 1,600%. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the way it goes with fossils, right? In a sense. So we do this MS support this. So this one is annoying here. Oh man. Oh man. I was from Poland, called me Denmark. Wanted me to work 36 hours, something 24-hour TV in Poland now. Set upside down this summer. Wetwood and garbage in winter, no choice. Oh damn it. Oh damn it. It's not ideal. It's far from ideal. Oh, hopefully the frickin' war is over soon. Humanity. So, the problem I'm having now is getting the ID of the question so I can save that as well. Annoying. Annoying. Here's my settings screen here. Summary screen. Oh, because I did this quick and dirty thingy. I mean, it did work. And up to the point where I wanted to extend it. Yeah. More photovoltaic, more wind. All of that stuff that you can be. Yeah. So you don't depend on any, in a sense, on any other country. Not because depending on another country is bad, but because dependency on or having no alternatives is very, very bad. And carbon is not great. I think. Where is my summary screen? There it is. Okay. I think I want to reformat things slightly. Append to history. Here we go. Append to history. And I do want to format things slightly differently. I think in the history slice, huh? We get like questions. Then has an answers field. And it also has a like this, I think. So this is an answer, and then we have the question ID right there, which is a string. And if we do it like that, things get simpler, I think. But questions, it must be an array, of course. So we get queues now, and we have just q.id. And we have q.answer. So that removes our cyclic dependency, at least here. q.id doesn't exist. q.questionID. So this can be just ID, I guess. Because it's a question. Right. So. And I'm doing this extra mapping because this gets persisted later, and we don't want to have any bad stuff in our state. Next. So next one, we need to use absurd. That's absurd. No, that's not absurd. Up here, I think we can say absurd. Wait, what? That one. Oh, to do that one. Where's my slice again? Slice, where are you? There you are. I need to switch off the lights because my eyes are starting to hurt from being blinded by the lights. Blinded by the lights. Yeah, that's much better. So, oh Jesus Christ. Let's see, where were we? I want to have absurd. I wanted to... Oh no, that works perfectly fine. So, today must be a date. Argument of date is not assignable type. Okay, must be today, like so. And then it must be questions. It must be questions, and then we must reformat those answers dot map A maps to. We do need the ID of the index here as well, and then we map this to an object with this fun stuff. Not working? How long are we streaming again? 1.5 hours. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh, burning garbage is also terrible. Particularly if you don't have the proper equipment. Answer is missing. So we need to write answer here. Hey. Okay. And we might actually be able to do this instead. Come on. So that's all that we want to do. I think we can replace append to history now by this. Today is not there. Just say now. Now it doesn't work. Today. No. Oh. And this can just be the date now, I think. Okay. Date. Okay. Man, that was something. Now we're not done, I think, with the setup actually of our app. We forgot half of it. So we do need a provider. We need to close the provider, and we need to take this one. We have that one. We have a counter slice. That's perfect. Do we have to wrap the counter function? Or does it just magically... Ah, they are using use. I think we need to do something slightly different. go into the statistics and then do they still have the connect function? Connect probably won't work. Use selector. Oh, okay. I think I get it. What did I do here? So we take use dispatch, and then we also import the other one. Wait, I'm in the wrong function. I'm in the wrong function. Summary screen. We use dispatch again from React Redux, and then we dispatch down here this update function. All of this needs to go inside of there. I think that's it to make it work. So we're almost there, I think. We have Redux set up initially. Included, let's say it like that. Usually I think setup is much easier if you start from the beginning. But we are now kind of in the middle. It exports the reducer. That doesn't work. So we probably import this thing from /history/history reducer reslice, like so. And why is this exactly the reducer, you say? Because we default export the reducer. So the thing that we import here using the default import is exactly the reducer. So this might actually work. Man, it looks terrible. Do we have a middleware? I want a quick and dirty logging middleware just to see the state, I think. Or we might be able to just console log inside of here. Console.log. Probably not working. JSON log stringify. Log pretty log. JSON pretty. Ready? Log J. There we go. State. Yarn dev. Oh, we definitely made a mistake. There was so much that we did. We definitely made a mistake. It's impossible that we didn't make a mistake on that. All right. Open this one up. Let's maybe close everything again. Come on. Close all. Open it. Open up! Is as soon as we go through the complete flow, as soon as we get through the complete flow, we call upsert. This function should get called. We should see an empty state, which means we should see this printed to the console. And after that, we go through it again manually. And then we should see the previous one. essentially. So let me just go through this here quickly. First run. The enter is not working. Blah. Oh, there was an error. A non-serializable value was detected in the action in the path. Oh, can I not dispatch? So date is not possible. We need to use string here instead. Then we do new date. What do you do? Do iso string split t. Yeah, that's fine. That should be fine. So we now double call this essentially, but whatever. That doesn't matter. Summary screen. Now dot to iso string. TypeScript. Did TypeScript warn us? No, it didn't. Yeah. Logic that dispatches this actually. Okay. Another try. Click on it again. History is empty now. If I click on it again, I don't really actually have to do everything. It looks good. We have first run in here. We have the object which contains history because it's a complete slice. We have our first date, 6/18 something something. We have the questions 35553 blah blah blah. We have the value first run, which I indeed remembered to have put in. It looks alright-ish. Now, if we change the date quickly and dirty, go to settings, date. No, don't do that. Let's say we have the 19th now. And we go back here and we put everything on 1, or let's say it was a great day. Put everything on 10. It was an amazing day. It was like, wow, never had such a day in your life and might actually never have that again. Best day ever. There we go. And veterans blah. And now, as you see, this is still the one from previously. It was added again. Was it? No, it wasn't. Never mind. But if we click on it once more, we should now see previous one. It's 18, so which is today. And we should see 619 with 10s all over the place. And if I change something, maybe golds wasn't that great, but everything else was still. And we say this was the almost best day ever. Then we see the previous one again, because of the way that I've set up locking. And now we have the almost best day, and it should have updated this date. It did. Yes, it works. Cool. Commit. Yeah. This is the feature. No, it's actually a refactor. It's actually kind of on the way, work in progress, but it also doesn't destroy anything. Kind of feature, I suppose. Stats. History to Redux to global state. Okay, man, that was something. So now the cool thing is, if I go into the statistics screen again, we now can, instead of using the mock history, we can just use state or something? Use store. Let's just do that. It's probably not the way you do it, usually. Can I pick a specific store? Anyway. So store dot get state dot get the state, I get the history, and that's it, right? What he says. Just quick fix it for now. We just want to see something. Put on a to-do here. And then we can replace the mock history by history. It is typed any. And everything else is also typed any. That's... Do you complain about that? Not a function. Man. So this is which state? We actually have that, I think. History state. Didn't we like do something to get that working? There it is. That's nice, blah 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 blah. I don't know. Somewhere we should be able to say, where's the slice again? There it is. Export interface. Not sure whether we should be doing that. You know, work. Project is of type unknown. Because the store is untyped? How do I type the app dispatch root state? That's a cyclic import, right? Not great. String now exists. Map does not exist on history state. Dot. Okay. That's... Why do we have it doubled? And why do I not go to the proper reducer? Because it's an array. I see. Well, that's how it goes. Save. And we might be able to now actually see something in the statistics. Will we see something? What do you think? I think we will. Give me the power! The power! No, it explodes! Steady! Arrow updating property D U. Will number formatting character. Is this still a thing? Reload once more, please. Oh, the state is empty. No. Right. I think now the state is empty. Yeah, the state is empty indeed. But now it's not anymore. Bad news is... Oh, it works. I think the state was empty. Because it's not persisted. At all. So the next thing that we, I think, need to do, serializable middleware. Custom middleware that detects if any non-serializable value has been included. Well, that's not what we want, right? To install by default. Oh, okay, that's the thing that throw an error for us. Okay, listener middleware. That's probably effects. Yeah, side effects. It's also not what we want currently. What we want is persistent gates. Oh, that's RTQ. Is dead. With the code. Create API. Okay, okay. Every user async blah 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 using the query. Query read users with dimmer. Oh, by the way, the push actually worked. You can change the content of this array. Push C. Ah, never mind. Okay, apparently this seems to be working. Mutate the array by calling push. Yeah, okay, cool. It seems to be just working. So we have one to-do list, I think. This seems to be working. Perfect. Perfect. I say perfect. Oh, my eyes are getting tired. No. So, next one. The next one is extreme. That's still a to-do. Clean up the CSS. That's a to-do that has been there for a very long time. Remove the cyclic dependency. Probably something I should be doing. Actually, we can remove this thing completely. Because we want to RTK persistence gate. Persistence gate? blah. Does it still work? This thing? 2019 was the last. 21 the last update, but that's not. It might be terrible. That might actually be. This is what I was using previously. Let me double check. So you're awesome. We're already there. Package persist. Yeah, Redux persist apparently. So it looks like this. Okay. Hopefully that. Redux persist with Redux toolkit. Redux persist. Use with Redux persist. Nice. Talk about good documentation. Reduce persisted. So, if using Redux persist, you should specifically ignore all the action type it dispatches. Interesting. So we probably have to include this. Up, yarn expo install Redux persist. Oh, we're 21. This package is from 2019. So apparently them moving to TypeScript is not working out the way they wanted it to, maybe. New management. With no rigging changes, React Native users must now explicitly pass their storage engine. I can't remember that. So, next. Persist configuration. Can't do that. Yep. I can do that. Storage. Away from there. Well, I add minus d partitions, TypeScript, typings. Then create a persisted reducer. Yes, we can do that as well. Hopefully we have this one now. We need to put it from there. Let's do that, right? Probably that should be good. Yes. No. Maybe we do this after all. And then take the root reducer, which is oh, root reducer. But we don't have root reducer because we're using tool. RTK root reducer. Bigger store. Combine reducers. single reducer function that will be used as a root reducer, or an object of slice reducer we passed combine. Suppose we combine them manually then, right? That would make sense at least, wouldn't it? Let me say this is a root reducer. There. Where do they load this from? From Redux itself. Redux installed. Oh. Redux toolkit, combine reducers. Where do I import you from? Import. From Redux, okay. So y add -d Redux types. That is stub, probably. Y add Redux, which is kind of stupid because we already have it, most likely. But still, so this line somewhere. All to just write this one line. So we can put it inside of there, so we can put you inside of there, so we can put you inside of there. Oh boy. Then we know the serial thing. Because that's what it says. If using Redux persist, you should specifically ignore all the action types it dispatches. Otherwise, it probably doesn't like it. Then, load persistgate. Well, and down here, gate. Where is the persistor? Okay. Isn't that? Persist. And we have the persistor there. Now we have to somehow magically find all of these. Namespacing would be great. Okay, well that was easy. Let's see whether it works. So what we should see now is that when we reload our app, so once we start up, it should still start up. Well, that's definitely one requirement, let's say. Then if we go through the complete flow, we have a value in store, and this store gets actually persisted on disk. To do that, we actually need one more line, if I'm not mistaken. Blacklist. Pokemon API. I love it. Where is Redux persist? Here. Storage, async storage. We do need this one. And then we need to get that one. Can get rid of this one. Okay, better. Hopefully. So, let's try. I mean, we were lucky last time. Maybe we're lucky this time as well. We still have a cyclic dependencies. Cyclic dependency. So, blah 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 blah. Now, if I click here, it should have saved it to the to at least the store, and yes, it did indeed. And now, if I let's see. Oh, that was the wrong one. If I do the following, I close it down, I change the date once again, and now I open it up again. We should be able to see the previous state. So we should still have the data from the previous date. Okay. And see. Threes. You. And there it is. Because on the phone it's currently the 20s. It did work. Woo! First try. Nice. Yeah, we need some first try memes. First try meme. First try working. No, no idea. Oh, worked first try meme. Yeah, kind of. But also this one. Yep. It just works. It just works. It just works. Good. So we can easily get rid of this frickin' dependency issue that we have there. If I do this, questions, because it will become another slice, and we say this is the default questions.ts bams. We call these, well, questions. This one, can just import them. Bams. I do think I need another import somewhere. And in fact, oh, this one is not the reason why it was working, right? That would be annoying. Yes, yeah, do it sometime. Remove all of this, set the history. I think I can remove all of this fun stuff and the secret stuff. There. This fun stuff. There. This one stuff. There. And now it should still work. I hope. So, close down the app. Restart the app. Yeah. For all the new people, we are developing an app. A daily questions, kind of a diary app. Not to a journal app. Every day you ask yourself some questions, like, did I do my best to set clear goals today? And at the very end, you can just export it to WhatsApp. And that was already working. Now I'm kind of extending upon that by adding graphs and stuff. Other stuff and more stuff. So let's put in some fake data. And we can click export. And then we see the stuff from 2019. From 6/19. Is it good? Kind of curious why we don't see the new stuff. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. If I render that now, I should see at least something. Oh, no. Yeah, that one is still broken. Never mind. That one is still broken. But if we close it down and we reopen it, we should still have the data persisted somewhere. Please work. Yes, it did work. 20th was now overwritten. It did work. Cool. And from there, we should be fairly close to what we want. Should be fairly close to what we want, which is now make the statistics have access to this state and then be able to render your data. So, this is kind of also pretty much a fix. I don't know. Let's call it a fix. We did call it a feature last time. So, history to go or persist global state cross tab restart, and from there we can go to the statistics screen. We do already have history. If history dot length equal to 0, or history dot length is equal to 1, then we need a selector here. Oh, I remember. Return no history yet. Yes, perfect. Otherwise, re-render. If we open this up, boom. Explosions. At position 0. That one doesn't exist. TypeScript. What are you doing? Why is TypeScript not telling me that this does not exist? Please tell me. TypeScript. Why did you leave me? Yep. Reload it. Put in the mock data into some. Oh, missed. Open it. Statistics. There it is. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And we can add another one, and then it should show as well. At least as long as it re-renders, which it doesn't, if I'm not mistaken. Because we don't use the. Oh yes, it does. Because this one re-renders, and then the whole thing here also re-renders, I suppose. It's still not the nicest way. We should use probably a selector. But for the time being, it seems to be working. Oh, a quick and dirty solution here. Wait, what? Yes, 21. Now, where did the app go? App, open up. Open up, I say. Open up, my friend. Hope it does receive a re-render. I think it should. Or maybe we run into other problems now. Anyway, let's say we have 999999999. Hello, everything is awesome. Everything is cool. Bams. Export it. And if we do it again, should see the 21st now here as well. There it is, 99999. And now if we... Come on! With your fingers it's super simple, I suppose. Yeah, it doesn't re-render. Okay. But... if we close it down, if we open it again, should be able to see the thing, the thing, the thing, the thing. Yay! It works. It works. And I'm happy. Happy. So now we're actually rendering stuff. This is actually the feature. Stats, working stats. Works. Do I still have changes unsaved? Save. Thank you. Can't find variable mock history. Why? Where do I use it? Yeah. Questions. Okay, questions dot. I think think we can instead use history now, right? If we move this one inside of here, and we say history at position 0, supposing history at position 0 does exist, which it does now. Now it should be fine. Yes. Does indeed. Works. There we go. Ah, it works. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Now, things to do now. This one is definitely to be cleaned up. Let's try to find out quickly how. I think then might be our last one. We somehow have to use probably a reducer. RTK as a selector, sorry. Selectors. Create selector. Use selector. Wait. Wait. React Redux. Use selector. There we go. Can I have that in TypeScript, please? TypeScript. Let me switch on the lights ever so quickly. There we go. Then define root state and dispatch. We actually have typing hooks manually. Connect. Connect is actually what I want to do, I think. Oh yeah, okay. Props from Redux. Okay. I think that's pretty much what I want to do. So we do this. And somehow I have to get the root state, which is up there apparently. Which probably should be moved. Actually, all of this should be moved, I suppose, to move the move the Redux stuff to avoid cyclic dependencies. So now we do have the root state. We do want to have the history here, a complete one. And we take state.history.history, which is what we do down here. And we have it twice because once it's a slice and once it's an array, the actual history. And then we say function components of tsas, and we get those components, which is the history. Now we can get rid of all of that. Do we have to actually connect? Probably, right? I suppose. Yeah, connector. We take the function and we wrap it with this higher order function, and now it automatically injects not this part, that's uninteresting. It automatically injects the history, and it also keeps it up to date basically. Let's see. That looks good. That also looks good. Seems to be working. So that's a better way to do it. It's also typed particular. So we can have a refactor, stats, we have, what do we have? History. Better way. Get history. And I'm not sure, but maybe we can now actually get state updates. Currently we have a day with 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 or something, or 9. Maybe if we make this into a 0, okay, 0 is 10, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 day. STF, TF. Then, does it actually update now? Yes, now it's actually updating, see? Now it's actually getting the new data or automatically. Previously, all of these points were up here. Or at least at 9. And now it actually gets the updates automatically. Nice! Very happy with this result. So, git push. Bams up into the GitHubs. And with that, I am fairly happy. I just now need to, let's see, republish, install the newest version on my phone, and then, as of today, I actually have a proper history, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, just maybe, we also do the following. Somewhere I have a about or something. About. Let's say v1 point. v1.2. And an app JSON, we also say v1.2. And code 3. Do I update that manually? Oh, wait. That one is wrong. And now we can say font version. Push. And now we can deploy. So let me see what I wrote down to deploy. We don't need to do a complete rebuild, so here's the deployment. We do want to have an over-the-air update. So currently, when I open this installed app, production app essentially, do I already have this one? Yeah, I do already have that one. I see 1.1.1. But what I should be seeing, let's restart the app again. What I should be seeing is 1.2 as soon as I have Is that v1.2? Just maybe we put in here a style. Which is it? Justify content, right? Style, justify content, center. Why are you not able to connect to Metro? Okay, it's working. Don't know why it gave me an error there. Or warning. So let's open you up. Give the about page. Come on. There's v1.2.0. Justify content does not work. Is it? It should be. It is flex by default, right? And not working. Height 100%. Okay, there we go. Justify content and align items center as well. Pressing a comma. So, about this app. Daily questions app. There we go. Dailies. That looks good. We can live with it. So, what do we have? Then let's move this one out. Sake of completeness, about screen.tsx, export default about, import stuff. Nope. Yes. Yes. Native paper work, hopefully. Come on. 1.2. Okay. Never mind. That didn't work. Because I don't have it linked up correctly. Now it is working. So that's also just a small refactor about move to own file. Screen to own file. Oh no, I broke it. Oh, I broke it. So what we should see in just a minute inside of this production app is that this screen, after I reload it a couple of times, actually shows it inside of here in the center, 1.2. We should see statistics pop up and everything should be perfect after a couple of restarts, possibly. So, and then what was the command again? OTA prot. Do it. Do the thing. Then I actually have finally my history after for so many so many days and attempts to do it all in Excel. Finally have a way. Even though one thing that I'm slightly worried about is the size, because, well, depending on how Redux persist saves it, we only have 2 megabytes, or in the best case we have 6 megabytes of space, which is not that much in fact. If you look at the size of the payload, it's like 5 years. And I do intend to use this more. having done these questions since 2016 or something, 7 years by now, I do intend to use them even more. At some point we probably also want to have an export functionality, which shouldn't be too hard to be honest. So currently we still see the old app. Let's shut that one down, restart it, and that one is still the old app. If I open it once more, there it is. That was the over-the-air update. We see 1.2, we see statistics, no history yet. Okay, well. But as soon as we actually do something, things will start showing up here. Nice, we did it. High five, everybody. And now let's set the correct date. Oh no, by now it's the 18th, I think. User network provided time. And then I think we're done with this. Thank you so much for joining today. Next time we will likely put in individual options to display specific charts only. Like only for question goals, or only for question meaning, and so on. So, because currently having 6 questions and all of them are pretty much red, or a degree of red, a gradient of red, or a shade of red, isn't really that helpful because it all looks the same. You don't really see which one is the nice line that you actually want to see, like only the responsibility question, for example. So next time we switch off individual things. What was I about to say? Individual questions. So let's write that statistics app. I'm not sure, maybe tomorrow, no, probably not tomorrow. So up here, we do allow to show only specific questions. For example, only goals and progress, etc. Alright, so with that said, I hope to see you next time. I give you a high five, I give you some tea. We haven't celebrated enough today. I do think we can also update the list up here, because we did do the global state management. We also may show historic timeline. Which is done. Next time we show enable, disable only specific questions in timeline. So thank you so much for joining. Hope to see you next time. Not sure. I'm not back at the point where I can say I will do the Wednesday 18 o'clock. It might happen, it might not happen. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hope to see you next time. See you around then. And take care, everybody. Bye bye. Okay, we can raid. Can we raid? Is somebody on there online? Can raid Dr. Inferno Firebird. Who's playing Binding of Isaac? But that's probably not what we want. Well, no, let's just call it a day. Goodbye, everybody. See ya.